Hey everyone, and welcome to this Explainer. When we think about artificial intelligence, we usually picture these invisible algorithms just floating out there in some magical digital cloud. But the reality? Every single prompt you type requires real power, real water, and real steel. It turns out the AI revolution has a massive, heavy physical footprint. So today, we're going to dive into the invisible, physical backbone of AI and look at what it actually takes to keep this technology running. And this brings us right to a huge tension that communities all across America are actively debating right now. Are AI data centers driving progress, or are they just creating a whole new set of problems? This is the central conflict we're going to unpack today. It's a really fascinating debate about the very tangible, on-the-ground footprint of our increasingly digital lives.
Section 1. The New Tech Race and Building the Backbone.
We are absolutely in the middle of a brand new technology race. AI is growing faster than ever, and it's completely changing how we work, how we learn, and how we communicate. But to actually power all of this, we need AI data centers. We're talking about massive facilities filled to the brim with thousands of highly specialized computer servers. Tech companies can't just rely on standard computers anymore. They need these gigantic physical buildings, which literally serve as the backbone of the entire AI revolution.
So big tech companies are racing to build these centers, specifically to power your day-to-day life. The chatbots, the cloud services, the online platforms you're using all the time. Literally, every time you ask a digital assistant a question or pull a file down from the cloud, you're zipping a signal straight to one of these massive server-filled buildings. It's your daily digital life, but it's powered by concrete, steel, and just a whole lot of heavy machinery.
Section 2. The Economic Engine and the Promise of Progress.
Now, there is an incredibly upbeat promise driving all this rapid expansion. To maintain America's competitive edge on the global stage, tech companies are pouring in literally billions of dollars. That's the staggering scale of financial investment going straight into the ground right now, just to build out the sheer physical capacity required for this next generation of AI.
And supporters argue the return on that massive investment is totally tangible. These facilities create immediate construction jobs and drive a ton of local investment in the surrounding areas. Then, on a macro level, it secures global tech leadership, laying the groundwork for the industry of the future. A lot of people compare this to the early days of the internet boom. It's an economic opportunity that many believe is just way too big to pass up.
But, this creates a really fascinating core tension. On a national level, sure, we want the economic growth, the jobs, the global leadership, all those billions in investment. But on the ground, that collides directly with local resource strain. The big macroeconomic goals of the country are coming face to face with the daily reality of the specific towns where these huge centers are actually being built.
Section 3. The Local Pushback and Neighborhoods Voicing Concerns. Because as these giant facilities multiply, neighborhoods are basically raising their hand and saying, hold on a second, let's look at the local impact here. This unprecedented infrastructure growth takes a toll. These centers demand absolutely massive amounts of electricity, and locals are understandably worried that's going to spike their own energy bills. Plus, the servers run incredibly hot, which requires millions of gallons of water just for cooling. That's a huge friction point, especially in areas that are already dealing with water shortages. Throw in the severe noise from the cooling fans and the unwanted changes to the character of a neighborhood, and you're looking at very real, day-to-day quality of life issues.
Section 4. The Path Forward and Finding the Balance. So how exactly do we reconcile this grand promise of the future with the stark reality of the present? Well, we have to find a balance. If we want to accelerate AI development without totally breaking local communities, companies are going to have to step up. They need to offset their demand by investing heavily in cleaner energy. They need to develop advanced cooling tech that doesn't rely on draining a town's water supply. And they have to thoughtfully choose smarter locations, places that can actually handle this heavy infrastructure load without completely disrupting established residential neighborhoods.
But corporate innovation isn't the whole puzzle here. Government officials are actively discussing new rules to manage this incredibly rapid growth. And what that tells us is that, alongside the technological breakthroughs from the private sector, government regulation and oversight are going to play a really vital role. They have to help mediate this tension and ensure the AI tech boom actually happens responsibly.
Ultimately, it all boils down to this. AI is not just changing computers, it's changing the way America builds its future. This whole debate goes so far beyond software code and algorithms. It's fundamentally about land, about energy, water, and community planning. As we're seeing, the overall impact of artificial intelligence is turning out to be just as physical as it is digital. Which leaves us with a pretty provocative question to consider as we wrap up. Will America be able to lead the AI revolution while still protecting its communities? Finding that answer is literally going to shape the next generation of technology, and it's going to determine what our physical landscape looks like for decades to come. It's a massive, complex balancing act, and it's one we all definitely need to be paying attention to. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. If you found this look into the physical cost of AI helpful, and you want to keep exploring topics like this, make sure to stick around for more focused updates on technology and global trends.